They allegedly found 520 pounds of worth about $1 million on the street.
Ralo a threat to them. Ralo got power and got control. Anybody who ain't got nowhere to go, Ralo welcome you freely.
And I said, I'm finna go give it to all the homeless people. So I made a rain at all the homeless shelters. So
can't stop. Y'all nigga know what the fuck.
Terrell Davis, also known as Ralo, an Atlanta rapper.
Okay, yeah.
You probably remember Ralo and his Famerica, Famgoon movement, which the police call a gang, from out of Atlanta. Perhaps some of you remember him for reasons other than his songs, like his constant flashing of huge amounts of very real cash in his music videos and social media posts.
An Atlanta rapper accused tonight of leading a gang that was allegedly caught trying to move nearly $2 million worth of pot through Metro Atlanta.
Ralo's team tells me he's being targeted and is sitting in jail wrongfully accused. But a federal criminal complaint lays out how investigators allegedly connected Ralo to the operation.
Also for the fact that he bought an entire apartment complex in one of Atlanta's worst neighborhoods, the Bluff, and refurbished it and opened it up for people to live in for free, which was a real thing that he did.
From what it was, from what it looked like, all of it went fished up by the time. But from what it was to what it did, he did a marvelous job to it.
I was semi-familiar with Atlanta. I did live there for about 1.5 years, but I lived in the outskirts in this like totally nondescript suburb called Austell, and I didn't have any reason to be driving around in the Bluff. But now I have some friends there, King Famgoon, some other people, and I went down there and talked to them right on the block in Ashby.
Anybody who ain't got nowhere to go, Ralo welcome you freely. You feel me?
How many people you think were living over there at any time?
I mean, I couldn't even count out there.
I mean, more than a few.
More than a few, like.
So Ralo got hit with charges of attempting to traffic about 1,000 bowls of Kush from Sacramento's California area, I believe, which is part of the so-called Green Triangle of Northern California that produces a lot of the high-grade product. And I think 2 different 500-pound loads were caught at Atlanta's Hartsfield Airport and attributed to Ralo.
Before we dig any deeper into this, let's tell you who 23-year-old Terrell Davis, aka Ralo, is, if you're not familiar with Atlanta's hip-hop scene. The artist has a huge social media presence and following, with more than 200,000 monthly listeners on Spotify and song collaborations with T.I., 2 Chainz, Future, Gucci Mane, and so many others.
Now, Ralo has been in and out of jail. He has an extensive criminal record, but it's still just a weed case, and he should have bond, but he doesn't have bond because supposedly some notes were caught that he gave to his girlfriend, and the federal judge felt that he was still trying to pull strings from jail. So Ralo's been in since April of 2018 with no bond. Ralo's team came out a few months ago and said that he was offered a 5-year plea deal, but he turned it down because he would have had to implicate others in whatever was or wasn't going on.
To this past weekend, a complaint says a K-9 unit met Ralo's plane after it landed at PDK and found just under $1 million worth of. Ralo and 8 others were arrested.
Now Ralo, unfortunately, was another rapper, just like ARAB, whose appearances on social media, and especially on the Jerry Springer of hip-hop, aka the ringmaster of self-incrimination, DJ Vlad, gave the feds ample ammunition in the case. In fact, just this past week, the feds successfully got a judge to rule that Ralo's jewelry, valued at over $1 million, could be seized by them as the product of ill-gotten gains. It took all this time for them to get a judgment to do that. So, you know, when there's that much money at stake, $1 million, I mean, that goes into the coffers of that DEA office, and it'll get sold, and they'll get the money to spend, probably split it with local law enforcement, And I know people that have had money like taken at the airport and this and that, who could prove, you know, that they legitimately, you know, that they had earned that money legitimately, and they didn't get their money back. A close friend of mine got X number of dollars taken from him, and he got a lawyer and was going to court, and they ruled to give him his money back, but like 80% of what he was supposed to get back was eaten up by lawyer fees to get it back. So if they take your money or your jewelry, 9 out of 10 is gone forever. Now, despite all of his social media antics, Ralo also was presenting himself as a community leader, and I didn't know whether to take that as true or, like I said, a publicity stunt. But I found out Ralo's work in the Bluff, and his love for and from the people in Atlanta is real.
Just about everybody had their chance to go stay in Pakistan. I had my opportunity to go stand there when I first got out of prison. He came, opened me open arms, come get a room, you know, nobody bother you.
And my friend took me to check out Pakistan, which is the name of the apartment building he bought and fixed up, and she characterized it as being in the Muslim area of West Atlanta. And the Muslim area was a few blocks of the west side, and those streets were really well kept up compared to the rest of that Bluff area. So you're saying all of this is owned by Muslim?
I live in the Muslim area, yeah. And I own by one. Well, most of the houses and apartments.
So this is kept up pretty well
Mm-hmm.
compared to some other. Pakistan building was nice. It's nicer than most of the buildings in that area. And even though Ralo's in jail, it's still functional. People still live there. And though it now has an armed guard and an intimidating sign, but I was able to get some footage over there.
What's going on over at that complex that the feds probably boarded up or something?
Nah, that complex fully operational. That complex still stay there. People still taking care of it. My little nephew right there went around there to cut the grass a couple of weeks ago. You feel me? It's fully operational. But they stay rent free right now.
Ralo's a practicing Muslim, Sunni I assume, and the Pakistan apartment buildings were the site of daily prayers, and there was I guess an imam and a religious leader associated with it, and seemed to be like a real functioning Muslim community, though then they were also putting stuff on social media with guns and stuff, but you know, guns are legal for the most part to have in Georgia as long as you don't have a felony, so I guess that doesn't, I guess having a gun doesn't make you not be Muslim, just like it doesn't make you not be Christian. As we well know, there's a big crossover in America between the kind of people that are big gun rights advocates and people that claim to be followers of Jesus Christ. So.
And now, criminal complaint alleges the rapper who's called this apartment complex in Atlanta home, a complex just raided yesterday, is the leader of a gang referred to as Famerica, a name Ralo regularly uses to refer to his music team. But according to the complaint, the investigation dates back to December, when investigators stopped 3 vans leaving Fulton County Airport.
The case of Ralo Famgoon is obviously a cautionary tale for flaunting wealth that you can't account for. But as I found out about the real story of Ralo and Famerica and how rooted it still is on Atlanta's near west side, I thought about what the phrase "in the streets" really means. It literally means you're outside in the streets looking for something you don't have at home, or maybe you're even looking for a home.
This is the philosophy I tell people. A lot of people say blood thicker than water. But I say water flow farther than blood. See me, my blood went thick goddamn growing up. The street was thicker than my blood, you feel me? I drank water to survive, you feel me? The people, my friends in the streets, that's the water I drunk every day to survive when the blood goddamn was thicker than got thin around me.
You had to find a family.
Create a family.
Create a family, yeah. And it sounds like You did. I mean, you still
Most
here.
definitely do, because I love everybody around. Most definitely, we blood thicker than water. You feel?
So, and that was, what, 16 years ago your mother told you to get out in the street. And you still free and alive.
Yeah, my mama deceased right now. She died when I was like 15.
But I'm saying you're still obviously free and alive.
I'm most definitely free and alive and doing
pretty okay.
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I'm king. I'm the shit. I am who I am.
And that's what Ralo provided. That's what Famerica was, a family on the streets, and the Pakistan building he refurbished was a place to live for people that didn't have anywhere else to go. And if that's not a community leader, then I don't know what is. So Ralo really is in the street and of the street.
I never thought about myself. You know what I'm saying? Whatever I get, I make sure large quantities of people can live in it.
So like in all the worst neighborhoods of America, the kids who are out in the street looking for a place to sleep or eat, or for a family, came together under Ralo, who spent plenty of his own money helping to support them and just helping them navigate daily life. Ralo couldn't even imagine himself away from his street family.
I was in the club this weekend. I was in a club called Bluff Vine. It's out Bankhead in Atlanta. My friend Gucci Man and we was in the club making it rain, and I just went feeling it. And I said, I'm finna go give it to all the homeless people. So I made it rain at all the homeless shelters.
He's already been in a year and a half, and it is only a weed case. So hopefully, once it gets adjudicated between time served, he'll be home pretty soon. And his friend King Famgoon just dropped a new video, and I was just reading an article about how a lot of social media influencers who are seeing their organic reach dwindle on Instagram, for example, are now doing something called sad fishing, where they pretend to be sad or depressed, and an analysis of those posts show that they get 7 to 8 times the engagement rate. So now you got fake depression on the internet, but mental health awareness is a real thing. And King Famgoon told me a couple months ago he was dropping an album called Mental Health, and he's got a new video. Got some snippets playing. Go check out the whole video, link below. Free Ralo, American Dope.